You're very different from a hammer, right? How are you different from a hammer?
I don't know.
Or a chair, the chair you're sitting in. How are you different from the chair in which you sit?
I am living.
You are living! Okay, what else? Alan.
I agree with the shoes that I can carry.
Okay, you have free will. What else? Here.
You specify genders.
You specify genders. Very good. Good. Objects do not have genders. Kevin?
I have a soul.
You have a soul. Exactly. All right. How is a person, now you already said this, but let's have somebody else say it as well. How a person is more perfect. Okay, people are not, we're fallen, right? We're not perfect. But how is a person, how are you, each of you, more intrinsically perfect than the chair on which you sit? John?
Because God made us, and God made us, and like we made, well, people made the objects.
Okay. Okay, yes.
God sculpted us with his own fingers. And
Good.
And things like animals and trees, he sculpted.
So our very creation is more closely linked to God. That's true. Alex?
Because we are made in the image of God, and humans made the materials.
And humans make that which is material. All right. Oh yeah, did you read the part in bold at the top?
I am an I and not an it. Polymorphism and dignity of a human person.
Okay. I am an I and not an it. Okay, I stole that quote from my sister when she taught high school. One of her students said that. That they had this realization, I am an I and not an it. What does that mean? Grace, what do you think? I am an I and not an it.
What? Well, it is something that you don't really know, like, and it isn't a person,
Okay, good.
and when you say I, it means yourself and you're a person.
Okay, so you're denoting person, but good. Colin?
And it would be an object. Like women, they could wait. How can I say this?
Phrase very carefully. Good job, Colin. I think you're getting at the right thing, but phrase very carefully.
Because they could be used in a sense.
Okay, but
No.
are they objects?
No.
They could be objectified, but is a person ever an object?
No.
Why not?
Because we are
Okay. Okay, Mr. Zappi?
Because we have soul and free will.
Good.
So we can choose what we do, and that specifies us from an it.
Good.
An animal would usually be referred to as an it because they don't have free will, but since we do have free will, then we can be honest.
Okay, but the difference between, Colin, you brought up an interesting question. The difference between an object and something that's objectified. Okay, because people can objectify each other. That's what we're going to get into a little bit. They can treat each other as objects, but are they objects? Okay, so what's the difference between an object and to objectify something? Carla?
You can use a person as if it were an object, but they'll never actually be an object because God didn't make people to be objects. They made a living thing and people, not things.
Good say.
So you can, well, they're still a person, but other people can objectify that person to make them feel like an object, but
They're not. Their worth, right, is intrinsic. Yes.
Humans are not, like, an object is there, it's just there and does not have any, like, it can't move without somebody to move it.
Good.
And it's used, it can't do something itself.
Yeah.
And that human, since it's doing something, just like it just declared that it isn't an object because objects have to be used and humans shouldn't be used.
Okay.
But sometimes they're misused.
Okay, so the tell-us of an object, the tell-us of a hammer is what? What's tell-us? Let's tell us, man. Colin?
Telos is your and it's one where you're like for us, our telos is heaven.
Good. So the end for which you're made. Now, what's the tell-us of a hammer? It has a tell-us. What's the tell-us of a hammer? No?
To hit.
No. What's its tell-us? What's its purpose?
To hit
Okay, to hit what?
a nail.
A nail. For what purpose? 7th and 8th grade have heard it very many, many times. Oh, yeah.
Hylomorphism.
Hylomorphism. What does hylomorphism mean in your own words? Peter.
Hylomorphism is something that has both a body and a soul.
Okay, it's not just something that has both a body and a soul, it's a unity, right? What's the opposite of hylomorphism? Okay, so hylomorphism, you believe that we are embodied souls, okay, that we have a union of body and soul, that we are both body and soul. What's the opposite? Yeah. Excellent. What's a dualist? What do you think dualism might be? Because those of you who read Descartes a few weeks ago have a little bit of an advantage here. Noah, what do you think?
Like dueling, like fighting.
Not that kind of duel. Good guess, but not that kind of duel. But you could apply it. Yes.
Someone that thinks the body and the soul are separated.
Okay, they're radically separated, all right? We believe that the body and the soul are not connected. A dualist would believe that they're not connected. All right, so in the view of hylomorphism, which is the Catholic tradition, the union of body and soul that separates us from animals, and even more so from objects. Okay, likewise, this reality gives us a unique dignity, which must be respected. All right, this quote should be extremely familiar. Gabby, could you read it, please?
God made man in his image, and in the divine image he created them. Male and female he created them.
Okay, so where's that from? Bridget? It's from, and what's it referring to? What's going on in this? Bridget? What's happening in this quote?
That God made the only thing living on earth. Well, he only made man living on earth like him.
Like him. Good. Okay. So this is the culmination, right, of God's creation. What came before? What came before? There are a lot of days and a lot of creations that came before.
Rocks and stars and plants and animals.
Good. Good. How is this different? Bridget said it. How is it different? Olivia, what do you think? How is this different than the creation of the rocks, or the water, or the stars?
Because the rocks were like human, and God didn't create them in His image.
In his image. Good. Alex?
But you, as humans are doing and created like Him.
Like him. Okay. All right. This is a very long quote. All right. Who's brave and wants to read it? Oh yeah.
The Latin phrase imago Dei has come to denote the classical notion of human identity that sets human persons apart from the rest of the visible world, and thus serves as the basis of their particular dignity. The imago Dei is the basis of the personal, inherent and
Invaluable.
dignity of the human person. John Paul teaches the unconditional respect is due to the insistent demands of the personal dignity of every man.
Yeah, it's supposed to be teaching that. Sorry. Okay. What does that quote mean? There are probably some words that are a little tough, but imago Dei shouldn't be. Kevin, what does imago Dei mean? Imago Dei. What's Dei? Deus? Dei? God. Okay, so what's imago? In the image, right? In the image and likeness of God. It sets human persons apart from the rest of the visible world. Okay? This is clear in Genesis. Alright, that we are set apart. We are very different from animals, and even farther removed from what? Okay, so we're better than animals, but we're even
Better than objects.
Thank you, Colin. We're even better than objects. Alright? What does that do with our dignity? What does that have to do with our dignity? Can our dignity be taken away? Can our dignity be taken away?
No.
Why or why not? No?
I think it can be taken away, but it can be hurt, it can be
Mm.
wounded.
Good, explain.
Because your dignity, it's kind of like your self-pride a little bit.
It's deeper than that. It's deeper than that. Who is it given by? Peter?
God, and it's kind of welded into the very nature of us in our body and soul.
Good. Okay, the invaluable, okay, the inherent personal dignity of the human person. All right? Viktor Frankl. Does that name sound familiar? Some of you have mentioned him before. He wrote a book called Man's Search for Meaning. All right? And he wrote about how man's final choice, All right, in this book that he wrote was about his experience in a concentration camp during the Second World War. All right, he was a Jewish psychologist who, after he was liberated from the concentration camp, wrote this beautiful book called Man's Search for Meaning, and had this whole system of psychology. He wrote that man's last freedom, okay, is the freedom to choose how to react. So there are freedoms that are so fundamental to our being that even a concentration camp cannot remove them. Likewise, our dignity and our self-worth, is it given by our teachers? All right, is it given by society? Is it even given by our parents? Who's it given by, Gianna?
God.
It's given by God, and it cannot be taken away. It can be wounded, okay, and it can be disrespected, it can be harmed, but it can never be taken away because it is inherent to each and every person. All right, this is kind of basic. The primacy of persons over things. What does primacy mean? Oh, philosophical term here. Yes.
Primacy? I don't know what it means exactly, but it sounds like more important or better.
Exactly. What's primary? Persons or things?
It's the person.
Persons, right?
The main.
Okay, what is the structure or nature of an it? So this is a little bit of review from what we did before. What's the structure or nature of an it? Nate. It's not made imago Dei, it's an it, right? So an it would generally refer to an object, right? Can we use an object? Why or why not? Ellen.
Yes, because that's what they're made. Like, that's their nature, and that's what they do.
Good. Give me an example of an object and why we can use it. Yes. Yeah, go ahead.
For instance, a pen, if you were writing a text or notes, you're using the pen to write your notes.
Exactly, and that's not wrong to use your pen to write notes. Anya?
A saw.
Okay, tell me about a saw.
Well, the saw, you can use it to cut the wood.
Good. Are you transgressing its dignity? Are you hurting its dignity by using it to cut the wood? The saw is made for that, right? Okay, the saw is made to be used because it's an object, right? Noah?
A hammer.
A hammer. Go ahead.
It's used as now.
Good. All right, I think we've hammered that. All right, what is the structure or nature of a person? Colin.
Body and soul.
Body and soul, hylomorphic. All right, you're both body and soul. Can you use a person? Why or why not? Should you? Would be better than can you? Yes.
No. Oh,
You know where that's going.
because they were made in the image and likeness of God, and they're not meant to be used because they have dignity, and objects don't.
Good. Okay, that doesn't, for example, if you're looking at animals or you're looking at stewardship of the earth, we were given these gifts by God, and we have an obligation to cultivate them, right? To not abuse them, but they're here for our use. Okay, animals in the earth, they're here for our use and cultivation. People are not here to be used by other people. It's not why we're here. Why are we here?
To glorify God.
To glorify God and to get to where we're supposed to go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's our telos, right? We're made to glorify God and to be happy with Him in heaven. All right. Think about the difference between persons and things in your own life. All right. What things do you use in your daily life? You use pens are a good example. I don't think people are using saws and hammers in their daily lives. What do you use in your daily lives? What objects do you use?
Food counts as an object.
Food, yeah, well, it's technically a step up, but yes, you use food in a certain sense because you're using it to nourish yourself. Anya?
Shoes.
Shoes. Okay, tell me about shoes.
Well, we use shoes for...
You wear them, right? Why do you wear them? So you don't get hurt, so you protect your feet, right? Olivia? Okay, what about books?
Well, you use textbooks.
Okay.
Or you can read books.
Hopefully you're reading the textbooks too. I don't know if there's a dichotomy. Gianna?